Hello. Good evening, fair chat. I hope you're all having a lovely evening and managing through here. All the ins and outs of all that's going on. All right. Well, welcome to Madbird Squawks. Tonight we have with us Maryah, which I think is above me here. Like, hey, Maryah. And then Steven, yay, up there in the other corner. And then Sam over this way. Huzzah. All players who have faced character deaths here across the campaigns.
Multiple times.
Yes, Sam more than once.
I was gonna say, I think Sam holds the record for character deaths.
You
And
almost
that's
had
not a
another...
record to try to break.
No.
I think we're like 2 sessions away from the almost death of Rain, though. So.
Oh.
Oh, awesome. All right, I'm just quickly setting up the tweet.
I do apologize for eating in front of camera. This is my dinner, and I'm like starving. So I do apologize to chat. So I'm listening, but I'm just gonna cover my camera.
Gotcha.
While I'm eating.
You are
trying to find something to cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cover it with your food wrapper.
Could do that.
Nice.
It's too
All right,
big.
Tweet is all set. Oh my gosh, look at this beard. I really need to trim up. I feel like I just stepped out of the woods. Yikes.
Just get one of those beard combs.
Oh yeah, the heated ones.
Yeah.
Those look pretty legit. Yeah, I might have to check those out.
I don't know why I saw an ad for that on Facebook, but
Nice, thanks Facebook. All right. Well, actually, I can tweak things a little bit for this. We'll leave it like that for now. That's good. Where art thou? There you are. Just tweak this up a little bit. Going up. Sorry for the late start. I have my beautiful new computer set up so I can stream again. Yeah. I'm also just taking a hot minute to figure it out properly.
we're doing this live.
All right, that should be good for chat for now. So glad to have you all here. Let me pull up all of your beautiful questions from Discord. And for anyone that is not in Discord and thinks they may want to join all the fun over there, some Discord D&D we're getting fired back up shortly, and you can ask all your questions ahead of time. You can enjoy TikToks. Yes, we have TikToks in there. A lot of fun different channels and chats there. So let's get this underway. Again, tonight we're talking about character deaths. The first question comes from Discord from Veroth. Let's see. What's one thing you wish the other players in the game had said or done when your character died? I think so. In your, during role play as your character died, I'm definitely going to start with Sam on this one, given Orbia's history. So, Sam, what's one thing you wish the other players in the game had said or done when your character died?
Try to bring her back. Because we had just come back from, not long ago, we had just come back from bringing Felix back to life. And Maryah had participated in that. And so she felt like the whole reason that everything that's happening in Kiers right now is because she feels cheated. I did everything, I tried, and she was struggling definitely with the rune stuff and turning into a lich and whatnot, and kind of like losing control of herself. But she kind of felt like, why wasn't I given the chance, why wasn't I given a second chance? Did the group not like me or anything? And she especially felt cheated of that because she had died she was killed by a party member.
That's right. Yeah.
I totally
Oh.
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was killed by Malos, who she was supposed to be watching over, and then he went berserk.
Right.
And then it was really my dice that killed her because I failed the last death save.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one who knocked her out.
That's right.
So she's kind of like, why? Like, why?
Mm.
Why? And so that's the reason that she didn't move on, but Mina did.
Gotcha.
Is because Ormia was like, no, my story is not done. And
Right.
Mina was like, I did what I could. I served where I wanted to. I have nothing left here. Everything important for me is on the other side. So she, and not to mention she was disintegrated.
Well, that too. Yeah, that didn't help. Awesome. All right. Neat.
Hashtag destroy all beholders.
Yeah. That was a nasty one too.
You keep rolling for the cleric. Why?
Destroy the healer.
And I'm gonna add why. I wonder why somebody brought a beholder to the fight.
Yeah, Sam has PTSD from beholders
Nice.
now. It's just like, no, not again.
And how about you, Steven? Do you have anything? What's one thing you wish the other players in the game had said or done when your character died?
I was a little hurt by how quickly they dismissed the idea of paying money to bring him back. It's like,
awesome.
oh. But again, I think it's probably a sound economic decision.
Given the circumstances that led up, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's hilarious. That's great.
I could see feeling that way.
That's so funny. Neat.
Oh, and I will say, my two characters that died were Ormia and Real, an elf swashbuckler, and Mina Sheila-sent, a draw light cleric, and both of them were in this Friday Stormfall campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody else wants to say what
yes.
campaign they died in.
Stuff on YouTube. Check out, yeah. Nice. Anything you wish any of us would have done, Stephen, aside from
Also, who was your
resurrect
character
you?
in what
Sorry.
campaign? Just in case people don't know.
I play on the Sunday night campaign, Obsidian Scar. I think we've come to call it the Proper Naughty campaign at this point. Honestly, considering that it is the Proper Naughty campaign, I thought that my party members it was actually a pretty touching ordeal. We had one member played by Tasha who was sort of, and she's gone on to do this, she's sort of in denial of death. And it was really just like watching that, just like, oof, like, I don't know, it's sort of a hit. It didn't, my character is a big bumbling buffoon, Derek Bardson. And that anyone could, really care to keep him around was a pretty neat deal. So
neat.
I really honestly couldn't ask for any more. But maybe just at least consider getting someone to help him out.
Nice. All right. And Maryah, how about you? What's one thing you wish the other players in the game had said or done when Brixie died?
So I am part of the Stormfall campaign on Friday nights, and I played Brixie, which is the one character that died, and who was a tiefling druid, and then I currently play Rain, who is a human cleric. So, oh gosh, not one particular moment, but I wish Brixie would have listened, because I played Brixie as just like the most curious character, because I like playing characters that are like curious and like outgoing, but Sam, I don't remember who it was.
It was
Erwin.
Aaron.
Yeah, Erwin kept telling Brixie that is a monster, come back, and I did not listen. So I wish, I wish Brixie would have listened instead of letting her saying curiosity kills a cat or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, you did find out what it was.
I did. And it ate me.
Yeah, that too.
That was the night that I literally just got, I think, a week back from a convention. And then that happened. I was like, oh, okay.
Crash. Yeah. Awesome.
That's right. I got back from Tokyo and Tulsa. When that happened, I was just like, what is this?
Wonderful. All right. Well, we have a question from Half Donut next. Let's see. When did it hit you that you were facing your character's death, and what was going through your mind as it happened? Let's mix it up, and we'll start with Steven this time. When did it hit you that you were facing your character's death, Steven?
It was. So unfortunately, and this sort of relates to what was just being said, is that I knew what was likely to happen to my character, but my character is dumber than I am, and I was like, I just sort of had to look at it as like basically he was going to open his box and something pretty bad was going to happen when he did, and is there any way that he was going to not open the box? And the answer is he was definitely going to open the box. So I knew that was going to happen, and so Victoria is the DM on our show, and she had she's done some really neat world building, and she had this Tabaxi tribe that basically resurrects people as Tabaxi. Because they can't reproduce, and that's how they add to their ranks. And so that sounded really neat, but I also didn't want. So I knew if I died, I had already pre-written a note for my character, being like, "I want to be a kitty." But I also didn't want to do something that forced, or sort of strong-armed my party members, the people I play with, to be like, hey, you guys gotta go out of your way on this journey so I can be a cat. So I didn't know that would end up happening, and ended up playing a different character for a little bit. But I guess, I knew kind of right away, and I didn't know if I would come back. But if I'm being totally honest, Derek's grown on me more since then. I was sort of iffy on myself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, neat. All right, and Maryah, when did it hit you that you were facing your character's death?
As I take a bite.
So, bam, go! Yeah, I waited. And there she goes.
That was my fault.
I'm just messing around.
It really didn't hit me until I forgot how you described it, but it just, I think the moment that it hit me is when you described when Brixie was just being swallowed. I was like, oh, this is really happening. And I don't, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember just rolling for any death saving throws, and that was just like it. I was like, oh, okay, so this is happening. And I thought it was like what we talked about, like Brixie. Brixie was the Circle of the Dreams druid, and so what Dan did with Brixie was just amazing, and I thought it was another dream. The way that he described it, and then I just remember, because I wasn't at home, I was at my local land center when it happened, and I was just like,
oh no,
what? And I just started crying, and I had to walk away. And then that's when I walked away. I went downstairs, because at the time the stream station that I used was upstairs. My friend, I had wireless headphones to where I can listen, and then my friends were just like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I explained to them, like, my character just died.
They just died. Yeah, I think I think you're right. I think that because you were effectively drowning, I think, at that point, and it was just drowning till death. Which stunk. Although
there was also like hellfire in the beast's stomach, I think.
That's right. That enveloped you. That's what it was. Yeah, it was all sorts of good stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Just like, sorry.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Too soon.
I did
You're
like the
good.
little Brixie moment, like the ethereal, like the spirit Brixie, sort of protecting that fire from his striking. I think it was Erwin. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like one last ditch thing with her spirit to protect
Yep.
her.
Yep.
Yeah. And now we have mini Brixie that's like the little tree, the little tiny tree, the awakened tree that's running around.
I'm excited what you're gonna do with that. But
Nice.
off topic, just to short, Rain is determined to see Brixie, but
Awesome.
they don't know that yet.
Nice. Awesome. And Sam, how about for you? I guess for each of your characters, when did it hit you that you were facing your character's death?
Okay, for Mina, it was the look on your face, Stan, when I said, that takes me down. I was like, that's one, you rolled your damage, and I was like, that's one more hit point than I have left. And you're like, that takes you down to 0. And I was like, oh no. My heart just stopped. I was like, please, not this one. And then for Ormia, she fought so hard to not die, because she kept using her powers to like suck up the
Right.
the life from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can show you the moment where I
That's
realized where it hit me that she was like dead gone.
Ooh, yeah.
It was when I filled out this third circle right here.
Not
failed
until
death
I
save.
get that. Yeah.
Didn't Mallow roll a perception check? If I remember, because he felt something like the life been drained out of him, and that's why he went in a rage.
He went in a rage because he blamed Ormia for getting his clothes dirty.
Oh yeah, I miss Mallow.
Yeah. So his clothes got dirty, and then he focused on someone to blame for that, and Ormia was the focus of that. And he kept rolling to see when he would break. Every time Ormia said something, to see when he would break into a rage. And she finally said something, and he rolled low enough.
Yeah. Yep.
And Ormia, I actually purposefully dug out my very first D20 that I ever got, because I was like, this was my first D20.
Right.
It's gonna do great, and it rolled a single digit, and I was like, yeah, that
You betrayed me.
The die is vanished.
Oh my gosh. Malus. Remember when he made that statue at the just outside the elevator in that upper tier of the tower there of himself?
Oh yeah.
Was it a portrait or was it a giant portrait? Or a statue? I can't remember.
It may have been both.
I think it was both.
I don't know, but like, there's a reason she's still hunting him.
Awesome. Oh, those were sad moments. All right. Next question.
I will say Mina's death was sadder than Ormia's death. Ormia's death was more like angry, like I am angry that my character just died, and Mina was just like, this is sad.
Yeah.
So I am glad though that we did get to have that. You'd let me do that extra dream sequence.
Oh, that's right. I'm glad you
to close out her story, because it's like she definitely needed that.
Yeah, I would say that. Dan, the way that you said that, I was just like, okay. As I was crying and trying to process things, just like, okay, this is the chapter closed. Your DM did an amazing job filling in the backstory that you never knew that was going to happen. So it's going to be okay.
Oh, neat. Good.
Yeah, the moments sucked, but they were glorious.
Yes. All very evoking. Emotion evoking. Beautiful. Oh man, this is going to be a tough Madbird Squawks with some of these questions I'm reading.
That's why I'm laughing. Otherwise, I'm going to cry.
Nice. Let's see. DM Andrew asks, if your dead character could be brought back to life, in what way would you most like to see that happen? And do you feel your old party would be glad to see them? Let's start with I already know the answer for Maryah, yeah. Maryah, let's start with you this time round.
Oh, gosh.
If
Okay,
Brixie could come back to life, in what way would you most like to see that happen?
if Brixie can come back, I feel like the way that the party has like did a little memorial,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
teared up when that happened. Like, I think I had to walk away from it because one, I knew I would be bawling my eyes out,
Yeah.
and two, I had to help my sister with and her boyfriend move a dresser into her room. But if she was brought back to life, I would like to see her grow from the little tree that they
Oh.
planted
Yeah.
in her memorial. And yeah,
Neat.
Big
would I don't know. It just depends on the party member
Mhm.
because I feel like for Emil and Brooksy, they kind of left off like
I know.
like Warren and I were like creating a friendship between Brooksy and Emil, and I would like to see that friendship bloom.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Mm.
To flourish. That's the word.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the word.
Aw.
To see it flourish more. So I think Emil might be happy to see Brixie.
Mm.
Because I remember, like, Emil was kind of upset that Brixie was gone. To the fact that Maura and I have talked about, like, between player and player about it. So.
That's not,
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know that I feel like we have answers for for Sam because Mina was good.
Well, okay, so
Mhm.
for Ormia, she did come back. I'm not expecting anybody to be happy to see her again.
Thus far,
and
no one's been happy.
I will say she was brought back by her family.
Mhm.
Her family performed the ritual that brought her back.
Mhm.
I will not say
Let's
anything
see.
else.
Yeah.
Because spoilers. But Mina, if she were to come back, I don't think that her spirit would, unless she had a good reason to.
Okay.
Like she may even try to bargain to get her husband to come back with her because she wouldn't want to be alone.
Okay.
But I mean, she'd have to have like a whole brand new body and everything because disintegration.
Yeah. That nasty part of.
Every time the finger of death spell comes out, I'm like, no.
No. Oh, that was so
Same.
sad.
Like, I'm scarred from Will-O-Wisp because of my first character ever that I created. And then now, Beholders, I'm just like,
No,
Keep them away.
please, no.
yes.
Uh,
Because of disintegration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will say I'm excited for everybody to meet Foliage or Mia.
Oh, jeez. Oh, woo!
And I'm
It's gonna be a
kind of
party.
hoping that, because like I know it's just Emil and Kaylin who were from the original party there. So I kind of want like old characters to come back too.
Ooh.
To see their reactions as well, or at least have the players chime in on how their characters would have reacted to seeing her like this.
Well, Felix is
because-
at the keep, right? You never know what.
Felix is at the keep.
And
He
M?
may be her next victim because she remembers she's more like after Mallows and probably Kaylin. She's the most upset at Felix because she's jealous of him.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Wait.
Why were you brought back instead of me?
Right.
Oh.
Right.
I forgot.
Yep.
Like, I totally forgot that. And that was my first episode ever because we were in a cave. I remember.
And also, Ormia helped bring him back.
Yeah.
Why didn't you help me in return?
Nice.
So I'm not trying to give Dan any ideas or anything.
Nice. Well, I'll also say that Emercina's still around. She is
Emercina,
currently
yeah.
in
Not dead?
Iverness. However, there was a flash in those visions everyone saw of a Tildari, a winged woman falling from a very high location building that looked much like the structures, the buildings in Iverness.
No!
Which,
Damn, what you do?
mhm.
What'd
So,
you do?
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, sorry. All right, Steven. Well, I guess technically we can ask anyway, right? Because I guess you were brought back. And
This one sort of answered itself in the campaign, yeah.
right, yeah. And we were happy to see you. Yay!
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, Steven, I have a follow-up question. Were you playing a different character before your original character was brought back to life? Or were you just chilling out? Just
Yeah, so no, I played a different character, not knowing if that would become my permanent character. So basically, like Derek Bardson, one aspect of his character is that he's just very, or at least was, like just very mind in the gutter and just a bad person, really, in a lot of ways. And so whenever he was dead, I switched to this character named Sebastian, who's like this 12-year-old with a heart of gold and a really bad Cockney accent. And so it was just a really nice like juxtaposition, because I had sort of like, I think, trained the people I play with to expect me to say the stupidest shit, and then they would maybe like preempt me, and then Sebastian would be like, "What are you talking about?" Or if they said that someone was hot, I'd say, ask her if she needed a drink of water or something.
Yeah.
Sebastian's still around, and maybe he'll come back someday.
He had the best catchphrases too. The best. I loved his catch. I know Lennox was a total a-hole to him, but he loves
Sebastian. What was up with that? Lennox was so mean. He's always been so nice.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing Sebastian from Black Butler being 12 years old with a Cockney accent. I'm sorry.
Nice. That's funny.
Oh, I thought of the crab.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, no, not quite that one.
Nope. Get sick or whatever. Can't quite.
Oh yeah. So he was a druid, and after he healed someone, he's like, "Get that up," and yeah, he was a delight. He was a delightful
so
one.
great. Next question up is for Steven.
Hi.
Yeah. As Derek has already come back to life, can you tell us a little bit about your choice to play him being different than his first life with things like personality changes and memory loss?
Yeah, okay, so I think we established that he was resurrected as a tabaxi. I'd take a step before that, is that we sort of ran across some loot and got some pendants from different gods, and Derek had been a follower of Apollo, but sort of got this pendant that he was drawn to from Celeborn, the god of death, and he was trying to do some research on him at the time, and so when he actually had a brush with death, with an incarnation of death, he just tried to offer the pendant over to see if he could get something in return. I don't know if there was a role I could have gotten to persuade. It would have done it, but I didn't get there if it existed. And so it's sort of like two-sided. Is one is that we sort of established it that Derek would wake up and not remember everything, but also the last thing that he was thinking about was death, and canonically has memories of being in Kellenborg's realm, and so he went from this really like happy-go-lucky, overconfident, nothing bad can ever happen to me, doofus, to he really had a pretty rude awakening to that.
Okay.
And that was sort of the main reason that he, was the way he was. Although there were some permanent changes, but if you watch the campaign, you've noticed that he's slowly coming back to old ways, for better or worse.
Nice. I think of as a fellow player in that campaign, a pivotal moment for me was when you completely discarded your shield and your armor and all those things that were just inherently Derek Bardson initially. I was like, oh,
yeah, even his cape.
Right, the cape. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
Whoa.
But he has donned the cape again. So
yes, good.
All's well. Yeah.
Back on its rightful shoulders. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Here's a question for everyone. What are your favorite moments that your characters had with their party members? So I'll say let's grab Sam first on this one. Yeah, what was your favorite Ormia moment? I guess is my first.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was the first crossover.
Really? So it was after you were bad. That's awesome.
yeah. It was the part I had the most fun playing her was that evil monologue that I got to do. That was lots of fun. Yeah. Especially with Dan's descriptions of her changing in the middle of it. But the other fun I had was when she was Nobella in the Shadow. Oh my gosh, I've been reading Yu-Gi-Oh! To my daughter so my first thought was the Shadow Realm. In the Shadow Realm with Thaxel, where they kind of like had that like intense almost competition where they were like running, like Nobella was like running across the water, and then Thaxel was like, I can swim faster. No, you can't. So that was
Monk
fun.
Speed.
My favorite Ormia moment was the duel with Davros.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yep. We both kept rolling really badly, rolling misses, but in my head it was like the duel in The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Where they were just so good that they just kept blocking each other, blocking and parrying and everything.
Yeah.
So like that was what it was in my brain.
That was the
same. Yeah.
That was the first episode that I was even on.
Right.
Because I remember Bear Form.
Yeah. You were in Orin's Keep, which was actually the inside of the huge parent of all Earth elementals, Orin, who you set freed. Yes, yay!
Yeah, the weird body shaped map definitely.
Is this a body? Is
weird?
Started getting it revealed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's also where we found the Warforged heart.
Yes.
Kaylin.
And then Kaylin forgot about it.
Yeah, for forever. Everything is in her bag.
Yep.
So that was my favorite Armia moment. My favorite Mina moment. I think when she convinced the party that they should go undercover and everyone should be followers of Sune.
Oh, that's right. Nice.
So she was just having fun being her cleric self. I was having fun watching everybody going like, "Pray Sune."
I forgot about that completely. I was just
awesome.
Like, as
you
me
will
as
disguise, yeah.
I was just like, as me as a player, I was like, this is never gonna work, and it worked.
Nice.
You can get away with anything. Oh, that was my favorite part.
Nice. All right. Well, how about Maryah? What is your is your favorite moment your character had with their party members?
There's so many, but the one that sticks out to me the most was just like the whole City of Brass trip.
Oh, right.
I was just like, okay, so just a little story. I wrote Brixie's backstory on my plane ride to Sydney, Australia, because I was like, I need to write a backstory, and I brought a journal while I was in Houston while waiting, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna write now because I time on the plane because it was a 15-hour flight. And then I wrote down all I knew. And then I was just like, here you go, Dan. And then Dan took it to a whole new level. And I was just like, I did not even mention Brooksy having a dad or whatever. And I was just like, this is amazing. That's why you got to trust your DM with your character's backstory. Write what you know and trust your DM, because your DM will write an amazing story for your character.
Aww.
And that was the best. That was a favorable moment.
Aww.
That whole city of breasts.
That's great.
Brixie,
I'm so glad you like that.
That's yeah.
Aww. Makes it extra sad to me because there's so much in my head from all this. So when I get refreshed on, like, well, that's right, the whole trip, and then you went into the den of Doglamos, and there was the betraying bug demon and all this other stuff, and then your parents both there and got all that sorted. So it just makes it extra sad, though.
Attacking all of us.
Oh, right, the time-traveling Brixies that were trying to fulfill the contract. Holy Toledo. Woo!
That off topic, just a slight, that tripped me up. I was like, what is going on? I don't know. Then it made sense when, like, oh.
Nice.
Oh.
It was fun because you had called out to that demon, went through the wall, returned like moments later in game with like you had apparently grown wings and then lost them. They were wing stubs, and there was all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, you had wings and they're gone, and so it was fun to like.
and then
I forgot about that.
And then it was Aaron Wynn who had magic missile to the wings off.
Yep.
You did that, Dan. I was like, I'm doing magic missile, and I could see in your brain. You're like, oh,
here it is. Yeah. So I had it in my head to, if things lined up, make it happen during this battle, and that would be a great way to make it all tie back. And when the moment you said that, like, this is it, this is the moment. You had some incredible roll, and it was like, yep, okay, yep.
Oh, Warren.
It was like a 5th level magic missile or something.
And Warren pulling it out in chat. I like how Blueberry found like where his master was is because before Blueberry gave up his books, I was just like let's just check if there's nothing important, and then his master's name was in the book from the mirror, and if we didn't have that information, I feel like we wouldn't have Blueberry wouldn't find his master. So that was another moment.
Yeah,
and we sewed the pages into Blueberry's hat.
Yep.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Blueberry still has those pages.
That's right. I forgot about that whole that other. Oh, what was her name? That it was the butterfly demon. She looks so cool. She's like one. I've got to bring her back in something.
I don't remember.
But she was the one that made the contract with you to make that happen, and it's good stuff. Good stuff. And Blueberry was like, "Fine, I'll pay with something precious to me." Oh, hush, phone. I don't know why that's going on. Okay, let's see. All right, so we have Maryah, Sam. Right, we did yours because it was after. Steven, how about you? What is your favorite moment with us beautiful characters from the campaign that you play with?
I can't think of one moment I've enjoyed with you guys. No. So the one I have is sort of a culmination of all the stuff I love about our campaign. So probably just the favorite thing I've had just to view is when we were at that pop-up mansion, and how much Elzaris was loving being pampered by servants, which is something she had always gone on about, but Derek certainly didn't believe that any of that was true. But it all sort of settled in when she was so in her element and happy. And then alongside that, one of my favorite recurring things is when I pull Ileana aside and spout my conspiracies at her.
Yes.
And she just has the best straight face, and usually she can keep it together, and I'll end up laughing because she's so funny. but I basically force her to, like play act arguing with an idiot on the internet, except we're standing right there.
That's great.
And so at one moment, after Tasha came out, from all of her great times, I think I had pulled Ileana into a bathroom to have a conspiracy discussion, and then Ileana ends up pulling Elzaris in. And then, so they're having some conversation, and they come out, and Peppino, another dead character from our campaign, and Linux, who's played by Dan, and me, have basically begun this giant human centipede of just massaging.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yes.
Somehow there's just a whole line of people giving shoulder rubs.
What an experience. Oh, I love that. Yep.
Oh my god. Flashbacks to high school.
Nice. I want to go to your high school. Mine was not like that.
You don't want to go to my high school.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, but there's just a lot of things like that just sort of come out of basically, more than anything, how patient Victoria is with us.
Oh, the patience of a saint.
She's a saint, yeah, and how much fun she lets us have, and then honestly just how I think we all work really well together too, and have I think we wouldn't be doing that stuff if we weren't having fun with those interactions with each other. We'd be like, okay, let's get on with the story.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Enough.
So, yeah, I think that episode was one of my favorites.
It's good to have just people who enjoy that kind of humor, I guess. I've never. Yeah, the
woefully inappropriate most of the time.
Yeah. Because I would like,
innocent.
for me, I would be uncomfortable playing that kind of campaign.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But you guys are so comfortable with each other. I'm just like, how? Caught a little bit. I'm just like, oh, this is why it's called a proper naughty campaign.
Am I up too late? Yeah. Am I supposed to be watching this? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, the props to that are to Vic for finding an assortment of us as players that are she knew what all
just in the gutters.
It's like, well, yeah, I wasn't going to say that.
Just
but
work
that's
together.
Cool. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, hey, that's what it is.
But it's true.
You just work together. Like I had a group of friends. We all cosplayed the entire Oran High School Host Club. And we had two guys who were willing to play the twins. And the twins are just all over each other, and everybody in the host club is just always all over each other. So it's like, over this one con weekend, we stayed at one person's like grandparents' house or something, and over that weekend, we all lost all like personal boundaries, and we were just always like cuddle puddles.
Aww.
And just everywhere. Like at one point, all of us fell asleep all snuggled together in the living room.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Because we were watching a movie and we're all just like
the magic of cons. That's great. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you just once you're hanging out with people and you're like in that sort of mindset together, you just like, we're best friends now.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Let's see. A question from Ed. Let's see. Would your character have had? We'll start this with Steven this time. Would your character have had any regrets when they died? And if so, what would they have regretted the most?
Oh man. Ooh, that's a
heavy one. I'm gonna lob that your way first.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just, if I'm thinking about what Derek would have been thinking about at the moment, is that he didn't solve the mystery of the dildos. And in fact, I'm still not satisfied with how that went down. So we basically just the short stories. We had a character go missing, essentially because the player had to leave because of scheduling issues. And so he vanished really suddenly, and he had talked about this giant chest full of dildos he had, and I wanted to find out what was it, and he said that I could have it if he died. And I assumed he was dead or something bad happened. His chest was still there.
Nice.
Anyway, so unfortunately, yes, it was a hunt for dildos that led to Derek's death, covered in glitter.
The glitter bomb from the bucket on the
Yeah.
Currently, I'm a meme. It's the I'm sickened but curious.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. That's yeah, so I guess just that he would have died. I guess he came back and it's been a bit of a thing. But he didn't, he went through a lot and didn't solve the mystery.
Neat. All right. Cool. Sam, how about you? Well, I think we know with Ormia.
Actually, her biggest regret was like, she didn't get the chance to get under control. She had not. She had been cursed with these with that lifesteal ability, and didn't. She was honestly going to learn how to get rid of it.
Right.
Like, because like she's like, no, I don't want this. I don't like getting out of control. And then she died.
Yeah.
Then she was killed. So her thinking when she was brought back and what she explained to like her betrothed and everything is, I'm going to learn how to use this so I can finish what I need to, and then I will get rid of it, pass on if that's what requires of it. I don't think she's there anymore. She has gone full NPC, so I don't know her current thoughts. But that's where she was. She didn't get the chance to be to become herself anymore. And then with Mina, she didn't really have any regrets, because when the party met her, it was after the battle where Aylar died.
Right.
And she and her husband had been part of that. And a little bit of Mina's backstory. Mina was she's a drow, and she was part of a drow hunting party who would come up to the surface. They were slavers, and they would pillage and all that stuff. And one of the people they kidnapped eventually ended up being her husband, and they destroyed the prison that he was being held in, faked her death with a lot of explosions and fireballs, because light clerics can do fireballs.
Nice.
And then ran, and she became a cleric of Sune under his guidance.
Right.
And the first time she stepped out into the sun, it didn't hurt, which it normally would hurt for a drow. So they were fighting together to protect the city, and he died in the battle, but she didn't. So she didn't.
Right.
For a little while before she met the party, she didn't have a reason to go on. And then finally dying, and then getting to be with her husband again, who was the only important person to her after Sune. This is like, this is everything I ever wanted, was just to be with him again. She's got a sad story. Although I am really sad that we don't have Mina while we're in the Underdark, because that would have been so much fun.
Yeah. Let me show you my old.
It's like, no. Can we avoid the city, please? Can we just avoid this quadrant of the Underdark, please? I really want to just switch characters and just be Mina for a little bit while we're in the Underdark. That's it. Even though Erinwin's gonna be great.
Or just have a Mina spirit just following us.
No, I want to be Mina. I do miss her. I really miss her. She was a lot of fun. Erinwin's crazy, but fun in a different way.
She's like the sister that nobody wants around. Because how hyper she is. She's an ADHD kid.
That's my description of her, as an ADHD kid with an ice cream cone in an amusement park.
Yep.
She wasn't this crazy before.
Oh, right, yeah.
That happened in the university. Anyways, Aaronwin's still alive.
Okay, yeah. I think just a slight clue, or at least because the Kier's Lament knows this, Ormia may have some a little bit of nostalgia currently, as she is currently on a sailboat, a ship,
Right.
having left port back in the Prime, headed somewhere. I don't know, it's dangerous out there, but she's going straight on full sail, full
I
NPC.
did tell you, she's a straight up lich now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I told you where her phylactery is, right? Didn't I, Dan?
I think so. I'll have to go back and check.
Okay. Because I know where her phylactery is.
Nice. Whee! Oh, it's so fun.
Or one of them.
Oh, if Ormia comes near Rain, I've never mind. We're off topic anyway.
All right, how about you? Would Brixie have any regrets? Did Brixie have any regrets when she died? And if so, what were they?
Well,
what were
first
they
off,
regretted most?
First off, as a player, I regret not listening to another player. That's. But player wise, I think I feel like I said before, like Emil and Brixie's friendship was just beginning to flourish, and I regret not keeping my character alive to see where it would go.
It was a really beautiful, like, subplot arc, to it all, that party dynamic. It was very heartwarming. I remember the scene. I remember when you were all hiding in a church in some city, and there were orphan kids that were living beneath the floorboards in a little network. And
that was in Ed City. That was King Felix.
Oh my gosh, Bexley!
Yes,
yeah,
Bexley.
I have it in my notes. I have this separate note added to canon when something is extra silly or extra cool. Or some shop, whatever. I put it in there. Crazy Marvin's Adventuring Goods. That store's in there. All future rulers of Bexley at the coronation ceremony now ride a bear up to the altar because Felix had ridden, I think, Brixie, turned into a bear to give him a more prestigious, walk up there. It's canon for Bexley. I love it.
I saw it in a chat, so
nice.
There you go.
Nice. You've made history. That was I forget these things. Like, they're in there, but I forget the beauty of that whole battle. Culminating with half the city's guard following Felix and his friend there, and oh my gosh, you had that time stop person, that these time stop on all. Anywho, okay, let's see.
I think.
Good.
Just to add, and it's just like that, and it's more of a player regret more than a character about not listening. But I just played as what I would normally play as Brixie, so I regretted it at the moment, but it just happened. Was I thinking about, like, oh, I'm not gonna die? Yes, I did think that thought.
I'm not gonna die.
Like, oh, wait, this is happening. Oh my gosh, not again. Because I think it was like maybe 2-3 weeks after my first character. No.
Oh.
No. It was a month. Yeah. I don't remember because of my first character death. I had to step away from that campaign because of school got in the way. But anyway, yeah.
Nice.
I'm getting off the subject, so I'm gonna stop talking.
Okay, no worries. Let's see. Let's start this one. I'll throw it right back to you, Maryah. We'll go back around the other direction. What is the one thing that you have taken away from your character's experiences during the campaign. So is there anything, any particular thing that stands out to you that you as a person has taken away from your character's experiences?
Ooh.
That's a deep question.
Ooh.
Nice.
Whoever wrote that in, that's a
M.
great.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I have one if you want time to think.
Yes, please.
Oh, go for it.
Bam.
For me, I learned from Mina to find the beauty in life. Because Sune is the goddess of beauty, and even after that horrific battle where she lost everything important to her, she still believed in the beauty of life, still was able to find friends, and still was able to serve them and help them and be with them.
Nice.
And with Ormia, it's don't leave anything left undone.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ah, that sounds like a threat. Yeah.
It's more like, like kind of sort of like a nicer way to say that would be like go after your dreams.
Nice.
Sort of thing. At least try.
Yeah.
Give it at least a try. Because when things get left undone, well, then you have what's happening on Tuesday nights.
Nice. You feel ready, Maryah, or do you want me to jump over to Steven?
Jump over to Steven. Come back to me last.
Okay, cool. Steven, is there any particular thing that you strongly resonates for you? Something you've taken away as a person from your character's experiences?
Yeah. Well, my favorite, I think what just got me into fantasy and sci-fi and all that stuff as a kid is just the way that you can sort of juxtapose, current society that we live in with, completely off the wall things, or because you can make up anything, right? Or any way that things function. Like, I mean, frankly, our campaign begins with us becoming indentured servants. Like and we've sort of as a group have sort of struggled with how much we're actually okay with that now that we got there. And we really haven't been working too hard to help that group.
Oops.
So I think I try to take, because Victoria's made this world for us to play in, and it's a part of the overarching world that we have on the channel, but and take those experiences and sort of think, well, one, like I've happened to be in this group in a time when I've been through a big personal thing, and having, like, being able to, of all things, be Derek Bardson in the middle of that, just sort of like, let's just take all the joy we can get from what's around us.
Nice.
Even if it's with a twinge of paranoia. But yeah, that's the main thing. Is it's one thing, like, I enjoy reading about fantasy worlds and that sort of thing, but it's an opportunity to live in it and always think about those sort of things. I think just because it's like a current event thing, and it's important to talk about, it's just that I've always enjoyed race in fantasy stuff as a way, because they're so actually different, like physically, maybe one group like breathes fire, or one like lives underground, or like things that are like so much more different than we are together. And I've always liked that it sort of highlighted that actually in this world, we're way more similar than in our make-believe worlds.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness, how do I follow up?
Yeah, the curse of going last. Yeah.
One thing that I've resonate with Brixie a lot is because I put so much me into Brixie, because real life I am this caring person. Like, if I see somebody that needs help, I just step up and I ask, so what can I do to help you? And so that's the one thing that I resonate with Brixie a lot, is her kind heart and she cares for other people.
Okay, I like it. Just sweet. We miss Brixie. All right, let's
miss
see.
Brixie so much.
Yeah. Oh, here's a Oh, this is a beautiful one from Half Donut. Okay. Let's start with Sam this time. Sam, if you could, using hindsight, would you go back to change anything or prevent your character death, even if the experiences help you grow as a player?
Yeah, I'd like to prevent Mina's death at all.
Nice.
Like I love Erinwin,
Mhm.
but I do really miss Mina. Like I just want to step back into her skin for a few more sessions, even though that's not going to be possible. Or Mia, no, because it has definitely led to some very I think the choices that I've made with Armia have completely tell me if I'm wrong, Dan, but I think they've completely added and changed some things to the overarching story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't change anything with Armia.
Nice.
I'd probably change some ways that I acted her out. Because going back, I hate watching myself, but when I go back and watch some of the beginning, I'm like, oh, that was not in character. I have a problem sometimes with acting a little bit out of character.
I hear you, yeah.
But I wouldn't change anything about Mia's story. But Mina, I would like to change the dice rolls.
Nice. Yes, please. Yeah. Aww.
You just kept rolling to attack her.
It had an eye out for the healer for sure.
It was literally 1 hit point. If I hadn't been paralyzed, I was going to heal myself, and then I would have survived the disintegration.
That was a crazy battle because Felix was petrified at that point, I think, too.
Yeah,
he was almost petrified, and I was on my way to go Greater Restoration him.
That's right.
And I was halfway there, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna heal myself next turn." And then you're like, "Actually, you're paralyzed." I was like, "What?" And then it's like, "Actually, you're disintegrated and you're dead." I was like, "What?" And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
I remember.
I looking back, I wish I could change Mina's fate. But I wouldn't change anything about Romeo.
Oh, neat. Let's see, Steven, how about you? If you could, using hindsight, would you go back and change anything or prevent your character death?
No, definitely not. And I think this goes right on with the last Brixie conversation, is that you have to do what your character is going to do. I mean, I think I could have made a different decision as a player, but if I was here having this conversation now, I'd be saying, yeah, I regret it because I wasn't true to what a doofus Derek is. And so no, I don't. I think I just had to go with what the character would do, and you got to be true to yourself, be true to your character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nice. Just to piggyback on what just to add on, it's just
questions over to you. Yeah, go for it.
You as a player, you generally make the decision for your character, and if you're not true to your character, then you're not true to yourself as a player. And so it's just I have no regrets with Brixie because I truly played Brixie the way that I made the decisions. The one decision where I rolled a natural roll, she fell off the train station and almost got ran over by a car because she let her curiosity get the best of her, and that's how I played her.
Yeah.
And
I will add an addendum to that and say, if you're the type of person who is a jerk, and because that's what my character would do, no.
That's true. Yeah. Players have to reel in the
you have to. There's the fun. It's what my character would do, and then there's the douchebag. It's what my character would do.
Yeah.
Don't be the douchebag.
Yeah.
That's all. Keep going.
Neat.
But it's just you have to make as a player. That's what RPGs are all about. You make the decision for your character, and if you're not true to yourself, then you're not true to your character.
Right. Neat.
So I have no regrets.
Nice.
With all the decisions that I made with Brixie, and I was just well, I'm gonna cry it out for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay down.
It's not sad. It's still sad.
Oh yeah.
You don't miss the character But yeah, but
Sucks.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
like for me, I am like determined to have Rain and Brixie have an interaction,
Ah, nice.
one way or another, and just like and it, like with your other party members, like if they have like they do something nice for your character,
Mhm.
that and to me what the party members of Stormfall did was just absolutely beautiful, and
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, that chapter's closed. It's time to move on.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how I felt with Mina. And like I still really wish I could play her, but it's kind of like her story's done.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I was just
Mhm.
like when Brixie was just dead, and I just had a good crying moment. I was in another town, and I just drove home. I was like, all right, you got all the backstory over,
Mm.
and then it's time to move on to a new character, which took a long a while to create. I created, if my
Yeah.
memory serves me correctly, I created Rain on stream
Nice.
because I had to take a while. I had to step back for
Yeah.
a week
Mhm.
because I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna
It's
take
too
myself.
fresh. Yeah.
It's too fresh, and I just have to.
All right.
The open wound is just like,
Ooh.
bleh.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
that just speaks to everyone's role playing and investment in characters. And I really love that through some amazing good fortune, everyone across our campaigns just plays their characters true to their characters and is kind and doesn't let that any negative elements in, but they're just so beautifully true to their characters that you can really. I get really invested and just drop into the world when I'm watching or DMing. I'm like, oh right, yeah, I got a DM, right? That's really cool.
And just like testify to like you, Steph, Vic. You guys are just amazing storytellers that you just immerse into. Just let us do what we do as players.
Yeah, I'm super glad that Vic and Steph are DMing here too.
Women.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Girl power.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next question up is for good Sir Derek, for Steven. From Emracina. She asks, it's a couple-part question. First one, how did your character feel coming back as a Tabaxi? Is it weird? Cool? And do you have any favorite mannerisms now that you're a Tabaxi versus when you were a human?
Yeah. I think I wish that I maybe addressed it more, like the differences of being a Tabaxi. But I like playing a Tabaxi mainly for the reasons most people would like playing a Tabaxi. My favorite thing about it is the tail. Basically, I like being able to describe what my tail's doing, or because Victoria was kind enough to allow me to have a really huge fluffy tail, and it makes me very happy. But other than that, I think the part that I actually like about my Tabaxi character is the tribe that he's part of. So it goes back to the world building again. I like the idea that there's this group. Like, basically, I'm not alive without my party members, which is why I support what they're doing and will go along with them, even if it's a weird journey to the top of a mountain and I don't think we need to go. Maybe I'll complain about it, but I have that, and then I have this tribe that brought me back to life without asking for much in return, and so that sort of caused me to have some loyalty to them too. So I think about it more as sort of like the tribe I'm part of rather than the cat features. But when it comes to the cat features, tail.
Nice. Okay. Meow. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Question for Maryah. Do your stuff does Rain's stuffed bunny or their raven have do they have names?
The bunny, no. Like when I was just like creating Rain, I have in real life I have it like an actual stuffed bunny from Oran that I got from a convention because I'm gonna cosplay Honey Senpai in the near future. But and if it's just like I'm playing a child, I'm gonna have. At the time, I had my stuffed animal with me on my lap, and I was just like, they would have a stuffed animal as a child, so that's what. I didn't come up with any names, so for the Raven, you guys will find out on Friday if we have a session on Friday.
Oh yeah, it's happening this Friday, folks. Show.
So you guys will find out what the Raven's name is on Friday because I'm not going to give it away.
Awesome.
Teaser.
Exciting. Let's see. Question for everyone here. So we'll start with Sam. Was there anything in particular that you did purposefully when creating your replacement character to make them different from the prior one that died?
I picked classes that I hadn't played before,
or
that I hadn't played in any significant length of time.
Same.
Nice.
Ormia was a swashbuckler, so I was like, okay, I'll go to a magic class and do cleric. And I was like, well, what would be funny with that? I was like, cleric. I do want to be a cleric. One, because we needed a healer, and so I was like, okay. And then it was like 2 a.m. for me or something. And Dan and I were talking just about the character, and I was like, Dan, can I be a drow light cleric? Because that's funny. And he said, sure.
Make it happen.
And then for Aaronwyn, I was trying to think of what would work well in the world. And I had a campaign that I was going to be a part of, but it has never taken off, where I wanted to play the Runechild Sorcerer, because I am a huge fangirl of Critical Role, and just the Runechild class or subclass is really fascinating. And so I really wanted to play it, but then another person who was in that campaign came up with basically the exact same character idea. And so his character idea got to stick. And my DM and the DM asked me to play a different character because I am better at creating new characters and backgrounds.
Nice.
She's like, could you do something else? And I was like, fine. So I wanted to do the Runechild because I was robbed of that in this other campaign that has not happened.
I have
and then for the half dragon bit, I was like, I really want to play an elf, but my last 2 characters were elves. I was like, it's my favorite race. No shame. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to do something different. So Dragonborn would be cool, but I've done a Dragonborn before. So I was like, but is there a thing for half dragon? It's like, oh, there is. In the monster manual. So it's like, Dan. And I was like, can I give you another extra workload? And he was like, fine.
All right. I've killed 8 of your characters, so I guess.
Yes, it's cool.
Yeah, you already given me ideas for just new characters because the Runechild, I have the Taldor campaign guide, and it's just breeding all the different subclasses that Matt Mercer created. I'm just like, so this is what Gilmore was. He just didn't show it.
Yeah, I mean, he did a little bit. I'm not gonna go into the rant because
it's all right. We can talk about it later.
Yeah. So I'm just really excited that I have the chance to start playing a high-level magic user now because they get some cool stuff, especially the Rune Children.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And Steven, is there anything? I know you talked a little bit on it beforehand, but do you have anything else to follow up with? Was there anything in particular that you did purposely when creating? Let's use Sebastian then as the example. When creating Sebastian, was there anything you did purposely different to make it different from the first character from original?
Well, so I think I've described sort of how the the role play aspect of the character is different. I did. Sebastian was a druid. That I was playing because one of the first times I played D&D, it was at Adventure League, and I was a druid and died at level 1, right away. It was real sad.
Yeah.
For Derek, I think one thing I didn't mention is that he was a life cleric. Now he's a death cleric, and I've been intentionally holding back abilities. And I think like I used something that I've had for 3 months, but just have been intentionally like holding it back to make it sort of
Clerics are so
more impactful
cool.
when it happens. Yeah,
That's really cool.
They are so cool.
The differences are kind of absurd with the things that he can do. And I'm into it. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Oh, you have resistance to resistance and immunity to necromantic damage? Not anymore.
Nice.
So good.
I feel
Death Cleric is one of my favorite classes.
Oh, nice. All right.
So
I think there was a week when Steven, when you weren't able to make it, Steven, and Emilio popped in to sort of just help out in a battle. And he's like, what the F? Steve's got all these spells. And he never uses any of these. He didn't say what they were or anything. Yeah, but he was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. And Maryah, how about you? Was there anything in particular that you did purposely when creating Rain to have it different from Brixie?
Yeah, so like I've played before Brixie and Rain. I played with my a different D&D campaign that we basically found each other through Critical Role, and we've been playing like maybe like 4 or 5 years now, same campaign. And like I played, my first character that I ever created was a high elf rogue, and then she died, and then I created a tiefling gunslinger because I wanted to try out the gunslinger subclass that Matt created. And so I was just like, okay, so I like the I was playing my gunslinger at the time. I was like, okay, I like the tiefling race, so I kept with tiefling, and then I was just like, what would be so obscure that a tiefling does not do? I was like, druid. So I choose druid as the class, and so and once Brixie died, I was just like, okay, I like to mix things up a bit because I want to try like different races and classes. So I was just like, and also I want to be a voice actor potentially, and so I was just like, okay, what is so different from Brixie's voice range? I was like, I can practice like child voices. So I was just like, okay, let's just create a chat. And I was just making sure that and Dan and I was talking about, I was like, is it okay for me to be a child? And because I know some campaigns, like the DM is just like, yeah, that's cool. No, keep create an adult because like it's just like a different world. And so I was just making sure it was okay with Dan before I created this. And so that's what I did. Nice. Is purposely because one, to help with my voice range for just like different characters, because I think I did like a really terrible Russian accent, or it was trying to be Eastern European accent. I don't remember.
That.
And because I was just like, I'm gonna practice that first, and then she died, and I was like, okay, what voice range I can do comfortably with people understanding. I was like, a child. Let's create a child human cleric. Because cleric, like, I have a list of like races, classes that I want to try, and I was just like, okay, let's try cleric.
Also, we needed a healer.
I was thinking about that, but I was just like, do I really want to become a cleric? Just because we need a healer, or it was just like a class that I really want to try out, and it was like a mixture between the two. So,
and I was mostly joking.
Nice.
Oh, I
know. All right, let's see. Next question up. This will go around. We'll start with Steven. What one thing do you want your PC to be remembered for by the other party members?
Oh, man.
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's all right. I'm just kidding.
Okay, what would I want the party? Now, are we talking about the the characters in the party or the players?
The characters. I'd say the characters in the party.
Yeah, man. I guess what Derek would want them to think is that he's like brilliant and amazing in combat. I don't know that that's a reasonable thing at this point, but I think that's what Derek would want, and I think me as a player, I think I would want them to sort of appreciate that he makes them question everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that as a fellow player in that campaign.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I think probably on that, one of my favorite moments in our campaign was we had our whole anti-Jefferson crusade.
Yeah.
And then one of those players was gone, and then Derek died, and I was Sebastian, and then all of a sudden Ileana was alone holding this anti-Jefferson torch, and you could see her face. Steph was just like, "How did it come to this? How is this happening?"
Yeah. That's amazing. All right, we'll scooch it round to Maryah. How about you? What is one thing? What one thing do you want your PC to be remembered for by by the other party members?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I think by her heart mostly, because I think like right after, because she saw her party members as a family and she didn't want to lose anybody, so I think Brixie wanted everybody to remember by her heart, because a good example is when Felix did get petrified completely.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Erwin was first introduced in the group, when Brixie was trying to get unpetrified, and she didn't know what to think of Erwin at first, because this is just what Brixie thought, that Erwin was a replacement for Nina. And that's like, I remember because I played I was like rude to Erwin. Brixie was rude to Erwin, and I remember Erwin was just like trying to help out, but she's like really protective of her other
moment.
Party members, and Erwin wanted to help out, but Brixie did not. She's like, new person, who dis? I don't like you.
Yep.
And so, and once she unpetrified Felix, it was just she gives her heart out to every single one of her party members. So I would think that her everybody would remember how protective and caring she was to everyone.
Erwin doesn't show it, but she really misses Brixie.
Aww.
Because especially now that she's kind of having problems with Galathor, Brixie,
right.
After Galathor, Brixie was the one that she relied on to help center her through her mental breakdowns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Their flying lessons and all that.
Yeah, and so now that Brixie's gone and Galathor's kind of distant, she's like, where do I turn to,
Yeah. And I feel
so that's why she's kind of connecting with Mort a lot too, is because it's
okay.
I need this friend. we study buddies. Mort, help me. But Erwin definitely remembers Brixie as a family member.
Oh, that's so sweet. Awesome.
Ugh.
All right. Let's see. So that's Steven and Maryah, and so Sam. Oh wow, I lost my place. But same question.
So
what one thing do you want your PC to be remembered for by the other party members?
So I think Ormia, if she were in her right mind, would want to be remembered for her loyalty. Not happening anymore. But before the party found out what she had become now. She died trying to help everybody. So she was hoping to be remembered for her loyalty. That's not happening anymore. Mina. I think for Mina, I think she's hoping that her story teaches people not to judge others by their looks. Because she got that a lot as a drow. But she, even through her sadness and everything, she's hoping that her story will inspire people to just, you can do it.
Yeah.
But be kind to others, because you don't really know their true selves.
Word.
Just from their looks.
All right. I think I've got one more question to kind of wrap us up for the evening here, and it's sort of on the heels of that last one. So, of course, as you played your characters, these characters that died, whether they came back or otherwise, there were certainly plenty of special moments that you shared with other characters in the group. What do you hope? Which special moment do you hope is the most special to each other character? So for Maryah, like, what do you hope Emil's most special memory of you would be? And what do you hope Felix's most special memory of you would be, and so on? You don't have to go through all the characters, but if there are any that stick out to you.
I think I will answer as if she was still dead and not currently a lich. I think she would hope that Kaylin would remember the promise that they made in the forge, in her family's forge, where Kaylin promised to help her, and then Maryah promised her loyalty in return. With Mina, I think with Mina, I really wanted Mina to foster a friendship with Mort, as both people who left the Underdark to come to the surface, so people who had something in common. So I kind of had that through Aaronwyn a little bit. I had that through Aaronwyn, with their research buddies. But like I wish I'd had more of a chance to develop that. And gosh, it's honestly been so long since I've played either of them. I've actually kept a character alive for like a year.
Yay!
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing else jumps out at me. Is if someone is yelling at me in the chat, let me know. I don't have it up. I can't.
What about
run
our special
Zoom
memory?
and,
No,
I can't run Zoom and Twitch sometimes. I think. Did Mina and Felix have anything that happened?
Oh, we lost Steven. That's what it is.
Oh no.
No, it's okay.
I'm trying to remember if Mina and Felix had any conversations during the King Felix arc.
That's a good question.
Remember?
I don't recall. I just really had fun making everybody be acolytes of Sune that entire time.
That was really fun, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I guess that was kind of a special moment where she's like, this is what brings me joy. All of you experience this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't think of any others.
Okay. Maryah, how about you? Is there, can you think of any special memories you had where you really just hope that's as you go through the different characters in the campaign, where you're like, I hope this is their favorite memory of me?
Golly, just like the little moments that Brixie and Emil had, that was just like
Yeah.
super touching. Can't think of anything. Oh gosh. I know that, like, after Brixie and Petrified, Felix. Wow, it's been a night. That and carrying Felix on Brixie's back so he didn't have to walk back. That was a really nice moment. But other than that, I don't really know.
Aaron does have a memory of Brixie. I can answer that one. Her memory was, I think it was when they were either in Sigil or in the City of Brass, and Brixie kept trying to cast something on Aaronwyn, and Aaronwyn kept counterspelling her.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then not too long after that, Aaronwyn had a breakdown, and she ran away, and Brixie ran after her. So, like, she remembers that moment as like, Brixie's like a sibling to me now. It's like fought like cats and dogs, and then she came after me to help me through this difficult moment.
I remember because we were in a bell tower and you were just bright because you had all your runes glowing.
I was a lighthouse.
And then I think I don't remember what I cast. I know I cast some.
I don't remember. Spell. I don't remember either. But you kept trying to cast.
Oh, it was my spiritual guardian. I was just like, I'm gonna cast spiritual guardian to see if it calms her. So, and it did somewhat.
I don't. I don't remember fully. I just remember the chasing after her. So, yeah, that's Aaronwyn's memory of her.
Aww.
That's beautiful.
Aaronwyn's not dead,
but still very touching. Steven, last question, just to wrap up. Let's see. Do you, if you think across all the touching moments you've had with the different characters in the campaign, what do you hope their fondest memory of you is? You can go through each, or as many as you like, or as few as you like.
I know that Elzaris and I had a really nice moment on the beach where we bonded. Yeah. That I still think of fondly. I think other than that, I thought that those moments like that actually between your character and mine, between Linux and Derek, had been sort of lacking. But I thought that we had a really nice interactions after Peppino died and sort of working through that. So those are probably the fun ones. Derek's hard to be fond of, I think.
Nice. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, I guess that's it for tonight. Gosh, thank you all so much for being here and being so sharing and open with, I know it could be tough sometimes with characters that have been lost along the way. Oh, we should have had that beautiful song, Here's to the Ones That We Lost.
Oh, no.
To close this out. No.
I will say Can I say one last thing to finish?
Please.
Losing a character is not easy. It sucks. You will go through the grieving process, especially if you've been playing them for a while, because they've just become such a part of your life, especially when it's like us, where we're playing at least once a week constantly, and we get to remember them. So it definitely sucks, but it's a good time to take a step back and think of the larger picture. So, like, the way I got through Mina's death was I had to step back and look and see what it did to the story, how it helped finish her story, how it helped put her at ease, and just kind of everything that she had contributed. Where with Ormia, I was able to get through it with the same thing, like, her story's not over. So I had to step back and take a look at the larger pictures, like, and also they were epic moments where it's like, okay, they had their moments to shine and be awesome, and they had really great death scenes, and then is their story truly over, or does it continue? But it definitely does suck. So, do take your time to grieve like you would grieve your favorite character dying in a TV show or something. It's pretty normal. It's normal. Even though they're fictional, it's okay to be sad.
And just to add, like, if you need to step away from and take like a few weeks off, like I did, that's totally okay. It gives you time to think, reflect, and move and move on.
A loss.
So
I think Vic brought up a really good point about things from the DM side. It was going to be extra silly there, but things from the DM side on when a character gets killed. I'm sure it's different for... I have vicariously experienced players under a DM that like is their mission to find a brutal death for their players, which is not my style. For me, it's so difficult when it comes down to, especially like I'll get to that in a second with Sam's second character in a row, but I feel it's vital to have the stakes be real, because that helps with, again, the immersion of it all, and being able to feel those stakes and the weight of decisions and such makes it.
The cows are too heavy.
Feel
the stakes.
Nice.
Sorry.
You're fine. So I feel that, but it's also, especially after all this investment, like Brixie's talking about, that whole character arc where everyone went to the City of Brass, and it was dangerous. They had to go through Sigil, the City of Doors, to get to an entrance to the City of Brass, and it's dangerous and not deadly in there. And they make it through all that, and then it's really tough, and there's always a moment where, it's a roll of the dice or something else for me on my end that I have to pause. I always do it. It never fails to be like, can I just hang on to these and not do this? And I'll usually try and do my best to find ways to make things happen without things going down that, but sometimes you can't, like that with Nina, the rays and stuff, like, no, this thing's intelligent, it would go after her, and with Brixie and the water, I'm like, this monster's just gonna
yeah, like what I was saying about players make a character choices for their characters. Is the same thing with the DM. If the DM doesn't go with what their NPC or monster or whatever, they're not playing it true, and that doesn't help the story grow.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not fun.
Yeah. I wouldn't enjoy it as a player. It's terrifying thinking of my characters dying, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, let's face the threats. Yeah.
Which Mina's death sucked because I'm a support main in anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh look, I'm another support main. Why is everybody still going after me?
Yeah, I remember.
You can keep everybody up and alive. Yeah.
Yes, just stop it.
I remember like when Brixie was mad that Mina died because like, why did it have to be Mina?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I remember throwing fireballs at a random object and out of anger.
The funny part was, it partially wasn't Dan. He told me afterwards he was rolling the dice to see who the rays would affect. And it kept landing on Mina.
Yeah, I forgot I went into that because that was like a separate ray even. I think that was like the lair thing with the lair action. That pops up.
It was actually the lair action that killed her.
And I was like, well, we'll have to see. And then when you said, it was so difficult that second time. And I thought, well, whatever, because I know you've got a lot of hit points. So, yeah, I had forgotten about that when you were like, no, that brings me down to 0. I remember I was already nervous and just that poof.
You were nervous through that whole entire fight because you brought a beholder.
Right, and Felix is petrified, and I'm like, oh my god, no, please, everyone get out of here.
Like, we were doing all right until those two dropped, until Mina and Felix dropped. Then it's like,
I remember.
Oh no, we screwed.
Yeah, Brixie was just terrified because she saw Mina being disintegrated, and then she was worried about Felix, and I was just like, as a player, I was like,
oh no.
The F we messed up.
Fun fact, that beholder, Erwin fought against it by herself a lot.
That's right, because that's where we found Erwin. I forgot about that.
She had been she was being held and tortured in that college, and so she fought against that beholder a lot.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what comes around soon.
You wonder why she has PTSD.
Yeah, she would know that. Yep, she was down there. She definitely had a lot of training with that stupid thing.
Yeah, and playing two different characters is just like, you have to differentiate. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you have to defer the two. And like, I feel like Erwin took Rain under her wing as like a little sibling versus Brixie, and Erwin had to come to an agreement. And I think if Sam helped me out, Brixie did end up apologizing to Erwin for being a jerk. After realizing, she's not replacing anybody. She's just new to the party.
Right, yeah. It's tough. I like it. It's like natural, true dynamics of the way things go, and certainly the way people feel and deal with process things, and some people they haven't had that experience yet in life to be like, oh yeah, I don't know what this person's going through. So they're having their own feelings, and it comes to a head. It was beautiful. I love that about our campaigns too. Is a lot of that just real life, natural dynamics that happen. I think it worked out
there's a reason why Friday is the soap opera.
For real.
Yes.
Yeah, we might do a little bit extra of that. It's awesome.
I'm not saying we're dramatic, but we're definitely dramatic.
Yes. Nice.
That's why we're on episode 118 or 19 or 120, whatever we're on.
We've surpassed Critical Role.
Oh, geez. I figure, I want to see where their second campaign goes, because I know they had a bunch of sessions, but not a ton. It was a long time offline beforehand, but they only got together once a month.
Yeah.
But look, things are coming ahead in this world. Oh my gosh.
They literally, since quarantine, they're on the cusp of 100th episode on second campaign. I'm just like,
oh, nice.
Their last episode was episode 99, and then quarantine.
Oh.
Which is why I'm really glad we're able to play online, because that means we don't have to stop with the D&D.
Exactly.
We're able to continue therapy. I mean, playing games.
Awesome. Well, thank you all again so much for sharing and being here tonight. Thank you, viewers and friends alike, for supplying all these wonderful questions. One last question, if you want to have any answers prepared, you can. My question that I pose to all of you is, why does Vic think that food prep is the toughest job in the kitchen? I don't know. Random
oh my
question.
gosh, don't
Go
get me
ahead and
into
put it in
that.
Discord and see if you feel the same, let her know, or if you feel differently. Just saying.
I worked in food prep. It sucks.
Awesome.
Food prep is the most hard thing. Even though if you don't work in a restaurant,
Nice.
when you're trying to prepare it for a meal, that's the most hardest part.
Yeah.
The best
Em.
part
Say-
about a meal is eating it.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
delicious.
worst part is the dishes afterwards.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
I hate doing the dishes. Anyway.
Anyways,
We're gonna pop up our
Anyway.
schedule here
Welcome
just
to,
in
welcome
case.
to Maryah Squawks and D&D Talk,
Yeah.
where we talk about
Silly
we
randomness
talk about
everywhere.
the kitchen.
Here's our stream schedule. Of course, you've been delightfully watching Maryah Squawks, our D&D talk show. D&D Therapy, as Vic cleverly named it, where we have guests from across campaigns here to answer your questions. Nothing currently on Thursdays. Every Friday, we have Mad Art by Steph from noon to 3 Eastern Time. Squawks, of course, here is every 10 to 11:30 or so Wednesday nights. So check out Mad Art. She in our Discord. I don't know if anyone would mind linking our Discord in chat. Steph takes requests for fan art from across campaigns and does some other work, character work, and such. It's been a delight. We have that drama campaign, Stormfall, every Friday night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern.
I will say there's also comedic relief, mostly in the form of making pizza.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And eating
Definitely.
chocolate.
a
Most of the comedic relief in that
Comes
campaign
from
is
heroin.
and
heroin.
food.
Food
And food.
related? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Every Saturday, 6 in the evening to 9 in the evening Eastern Time, you can catch Tower of Dreams with our other DM, Andrew, that I failed to mention. It's not my bad. I was thinking of the campaigns I'm a player in. Andrew's amazing. It's such a brilliant campaign. It's early
my
on,
fault.
so check it out on YouTube if you want. You can see it's easy to get caught up. I think they're 5 episodes in currently. It's great. Every Sunday night we have a proper naughty campaign, DM'd by the most patient and wonderful Vic. The Obsidian Scar, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern.
Which is such a serious name for a proper naughty campaign.
Yeah. I'm
we're-
sure at some
we're
point
heavy-hitting
the world's gonna
emotional stuff.
smack the crap out of us. Like all these terrible events that are happening are gonna be come crushing down on us because
Well-
we've been butts and bacon, like.
Well,
I'm
and
surprised.
even when it does, you guys are still going to be making jokes about dildos.
Probably.
Maybe.
What do you
I'm
mean?
surprised.
Probably, it is going to happen.
I'm surprised when you upload these to YouTube. I'm surprised that you are not demonetized, Dan.
Nice. What is this? Yeah, we get pretty well naughty.
Well, we're not that bad.
Well,
We're silly pants.
Yeah, we're a very silly version of naughty. Every Monday night, you can catch our very own Steph DMing The Forsaken, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern every Monday. Floating cities and political intrigue and forbidden
And
magic.
side quests.
Yeah, tons of side
Lots of
quests.
side quests.
Every Tuesday night, you can watch Kier's Lament, our All Evil campaign, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern, which brings us back around Wednesday. We do have a new campaign. I don't have a release date yet. We're probably looking at 3 or 4 weeks for Saturday nights, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
That's a lot of
More
D&D.
information to be revealed.
Never enough.
Yes, I know. Tell me about it. There's other campaigns in the works, so hang tight. I'm going to go and have us raid one of our fellow Tabletop Gaming Network.
If you guys
stream
want
team.
something that's also small and easy to eat, we are last weekend or the weekend before, we had a couple of weekends of one-shots.
Nice.
That is going to be put up on YouTube. And
Already up. Check it out on YouTube in our one-shot
Yes.
section. Yes, they are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, not saying I DM'd one, but I definitely did.
It was amazing, the Avatar, but they're both so fantastic. Have a great night, everyone, and can't wait to catch you again soon. Next up on Friday at noon for Mad Art with Steph, and then Forsaken that night. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.